Yo, what is going on, guys? It's DuckyTheGamer back again with another video. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys all the tips that I know on how to become a better builder in Fortnite Mobile. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not the best builder, not even top 10, not even top 20, probably not even top 100 in the world, but I think that, what I've learned in the past, 1 month, 2 months of playing this game, I can give to you guys. If you're new to the game or you just don't play as much as me, you can use these tips and use these tricks to your advantage to become a better builder in Fortnite Mobile. So there's 3 main ways to get better at building in Fortnite Mobile. So we're going to be going over the first one, which is practice. Practice makes perfect, and I always preach this. If someone asks in the streams, on the videos, how do you get better, I almost always reply with practice. But what does that mean? Does that mean, just get a bunch of wood and go build random structures, go just build a bunch of walls? Or does that mean, in build battles, in gunfights, you need to practice there? What does practice really mean? So for me and a lot of the other really top builders, practice means going to like Moisty Mire or Wailing Woods, one of those locations where there's a lot of wood, a lot of resources, and not a lot of people, getting as much wood as you can and just building and practicing building. The best way to get better at building is just by going, like I said, to an empty area, a lot of resources, and practice your building. And the reason why is because you don't want to have to practice your building during a build fight. You want to make sure you have the skills and you have the techniques before hopping into a build battle. And the best way that I can put this for you guys is that, NBA players, they don't practice their free throws or they don't practice their shooting in game. They spend, hours every single week practicing their free throws, practicing their shooting, so that when it comes time for the game, for the big moment to hit that three or whatever, they're going to be ready to hit the three or to make the free throw so they win the game. That's a pretty extreme analogy, but basically they practice during practice. But really, Fortnite doesn't have too much practice. A lot of people just go play the games and expect to get better at building, which you will get better. You will get better over time by just playing the game, but also you'll get a lot better, a lot faster by just strictly building, not worrying about loot, not worrying about fighting people or killing people, but just building structures and practicing techniques that you will for sure use later on in the game. Now, practice is definitely the most important tool to your arsenal, and that is what I'm going to be doing a lot in the future. I've started for the past few days. I've been spending 30 minutes to an hour practicing my building, and it's shown off. Yesterday in 4 hours I won 6 solo games and 3 squad games, probably because I was just really good at building. I mean, that's not the only reason, but I could tell personally that my building has really gotten a lot better ever since I started practicing. And I know also you guys are probably going to bring up the comment, well, Duck, you play on an iPad, so isn't it going to be a lot easier for you guys? Yes, I'm not going to lie, it is easier and more efficient for someone to be on an iPad, but still, these same rules apply on iPhones, iPads, whatever you're using, because in the long run, as long as you practice and as long as you do the things I'm about to discuss further into the video, you will get better. Maybe not as good as Adam X Legend or Flashing or Frisky or all those top players or Evo, but you will make personal gains and you will get better at building, which is all that matters. Your goal is not to become the best builder in the world. Your goal is just to become better at building than you already are, so that you can use those techniques when you're in actual gunfight, so you can clutch out the gunfight, keep going, and then probably clutch out the win in that game. So now that we've discussed practice, we need to discuss what to practice. So what I mean by that is not just going blankly into the game or blindly into the game and just building random buildings. I'm going to be giving you guys 4 things that I recommend you guys practice, because I use these 4 things most often in a build battle and in your regular just Fortnite Mobile gameplay. So the first thing I'm going to recommend you guys practice is building 1x1s. 1x1s, everyone should know what they are. If you don't know what they are, it is just a simple square in which a stair is placed, in which you can see out of the top and peek your opponents, or if you're getting shot at, usually you'll build a 1x1 or a few, a stair or a wall and stair, at least something pretty basic like that. So 1x1s are used in every single game I play. If I'm waiting for the storm to come in, I usually 1x1 up, because it's a great way to get an extra high ground. It's also a good way to keep your body behind wall, behind cover, in case you're getting shot at. So 1x1s are the most crucial aspect of the game, and I would recommend you guys try to perfect your 1x1s. They don't have to be blazing fast, but if you don't misclick, and at least if you can get the rotations down, the timing down, all that stuff, you will get better at building. And honestly, in gunfights, because gunfights mainly from your 1x1ing, getting healed up, and then pushing them, with a ramp wall push. So that is actually the second thing that I recommend you guys practice, is ramp wall pushing. A lot of pros do it because it works. It's not because, they want to look fancy, but it's because it works. If you're pushing somebody with just a stair all they have to do is shoot, 10 to 15 bullets, and boom, your stair is going to fall down. You might take fall damage, or you might even die. So stair wall pushing makes it harder for your enemy to knock down your stairs, which will give you more time to push them, or more time to, leave the staircase, leave the push, so you don't take fall damage in the event that it actually does fall down. Now, the really only way to practice this is by just practicing it, building a wall, building a stair, really going slow through the first stages, and then slowly ramping your way up and trying to go full speed, only sprinting up the ramp and being able to do like that. I'm really close to nailing the stair wall push. There's still a few misclicks, still a few mishaps, and I can't go super turbo speed yet on it, but I definitely am making improvements. I'm definitely getting better at the stair wall push, which I use a lot in games now. I used to almost never use it, but now I'm starting to use it once every few games or once a game. If I need to push somebody really aggressively, I will usually use that technique because I'm getting pretty good at it, and it'll come in handy in a gunfight. Now, the next thing that I recommend you guys do is to build a 1x1 and then staircase out of it. If you don't know what that means, just basically build a 1x1, build a staircase leaning in any direction, and then use the stair wall push out of it. So when you're in a 1x1, you don't want to just sit there. Sometimes sitting there and picking off your opponents does really come into handy, and it is the best move. But if you need to push somebody, building out of your 1x1 will be much better than dropping down to the ground and starting a new build from there. But once again, this is all situational. I don't have any actual gameplay footage of that, because really it just depends on what the situation is going on or what's happening. But being able to build out of your 1x1s is a huge advantage that you will be able to use in a gunfight, because most people in Fortnite Mobile are either really aggressive and don't build, or they just sit in their 1x1, they sit in their corners, and they never push you. So being able to build a 1x1 and then push out of it will be a super big advantage for you guys. And then the last thing I'd recommend you guys to practice is simply doing a double, not simply, never mind, just doing a double wall, double stair push. Now, this is probably the most advanced technique in Fortnite Mobile right now, and just in Fortnite in general. It's a little bit easier to do on PC because you have all the keybinds, but being able to double wall push is extremely important. This really comes in handy when you're dealing with a squad. If you're playing duos, playing squads where multiple people are firing at your stairs, firing at your push, you want to be able to push your opponents without being shot down. So being able to double ramp to begin with is a good thing. Being able to place two ramps side by side is a lot better than single ramping it. But being able to place two walls in front of your two ramps makes it so much better and so much more safer to push compared to just placing two walls and leaving it like that. Now, after you guys have spent all this time practicing, maybe might be 30 minutes a day, maybe it's one match a day, but practicing will make you better. I can promise that. No one's going to get worse by spending a few minutes every day, spending 10, 15, 30 minutes a day practicing in Moisty Mire, Wailing Woods, wherever you guys want to go. It's up to you, but practicing, you're not going to get worse, I'm telling you guys. So it's only going to benefit you using those techniques, and once you've basically practiced, you can put them all together and create a build battle. If you notice any of Adam X Legend's build battles, he uses every single technique I just mentioned. 1x1s, building up with staircases, stair wall pushing, double wall pushing, and just being able to 1x1 and then build out of it. So that's really what this all comes down to. You're all trying to just, practice every single aspect by itself, and then eventually you're going to be leading up to the build fights that you will most likely be occurring later on down the road when players become more advanced. So if you guys can get these techniques down now and become better builders, you will be able to dominate the game. So the last thing that I really want to touch on is HUDs. Very small, just get something you're comfortable with. That's all that matters. As long as you're comfortable with your heads-up display, it won't matter how efficient it is. I use my HUD because I'm comfortable with it. I'm able to use it efficiently, and that's all that matters. Copying HUDs is okay, but you don't want to copy a HUD and then force yourself to use it. Make sure if you guys copy a heads-up display that it is comfortable for you guys to use, and you will be able to adapt to it easily. Another thing is, don't move your buttons around too much. Try to keep your buttons in the same position, sort of relatively often, because switching your button positions around a lot is going to make you have to spend more time remembering where each wall is, the stairs location on screen, remembering where the build button is, and it's just going to slow down your building that much more. So try to stick with something. If it's not working, change it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't change it, but don't change like every 30 minutes, every hour. Try to give it a day or two. If it's not working out, then go to something new until you find something. There's really no other tips besides that. There are HUDs. There's a lot of iPad HUDs out there. I use one that's really good, and there's a lot of iPhone HUDs out there. But like I said, just get something you're comfortable with and that you can adapt to and use it to your advantage. So that's really been it for today's video, guys. I know it's not like do this one thing and you'll become better. It's just basically practice and practice those 4 things, and eventually you will become better at building. It's not going to be overnight. You know, you're probably able to see some results in a few days, but like I said, you're going to need to practice this quite often or just play the game a lot. But practicing your building does get you better faster than just playing the game normally. You will get better either way, but you will get better faster by just going into your own little area, but getting a bunch of resources and practicing like that. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you go ahead and click that like button. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. I do post daily Fortnite mobile content on the channel for you guys. But other than that, it has been your boy DuckyTheGamer, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.